Hey everybody, it is almost 1:30. Man, I had a day. It's never simple in my life, I tell you what. So basically, I started out my day fabulously. I feel a lot better. I did end up eating some soup yesterday, so if you didn't know, I fasted, originally planned to fast for 3 days, and then ended up fasting for 5 because I got really sick. But I think I know what the problem is. I started out this morning with a nice cup of coffee. I started out this morning with a nice cup of tea, and I decided to give coffee a break for a while because I'm going to be very honest, I'm on a budget, so therefore I'm not buying the most top line coffee, and I've decided that I am going to change that. But until I've researched enough, I'm going to delay buying coffee until I find a good answer, and also I'm just going to explore some tea for now. So I had my cup of tea, and then I got ready, and I took Smokey out, and I did my exchange because I had to be across town at 8:30 for my DeVito appointment. Now, it feels like I haven't been there in forever, which is kind of true because I usually do my doctor visit over the phone because I am just in and out, and typically there's nothing big to talk about. But also it's very convenient, and I love it because I don't have to drive across town for maybe a 10-minute visit. So nonetheless, I did get my blood drawn. I did get some iron, and she and I talked a lot about the new bags from Thailand. So the bags from Thailand are smaller than the bags that we have, although they carry or hold the same amount of the dextrose that we get. So I still have 2,000 milliliters in either bag. But that's not the problem. The problem is the drain bag. And I feel like those drain bags are smaller and don't hold enough. So I kind of tested the theory because my drains end up being at 7 o'clock. I put in a bag, and I have nothing to drain out, right? Because I've drained the night before, so there's nothing to come out. Then at 10 o'clock, I drain that bag out, and I have to refill. So that bag is fine because I hardly ever over 23, which means I get the 2,000 out, and maybe once in a great while I get an extra 300 out. Typically I'm like 2,100, 2,200. A lot of times I'm like 2,040. Just because I haven't really consumed anything, and because of the night before, there's nothing there to process through. So I'm good, right? Well, at 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock, when I do my next exchange, I put in another bag, and then I have to drain that bag out. Now, that bag can be anywhere normally from 23 to 26. Typically, it's not that high unless I've had some type of outrageous lunch. But normally, it's just going to be usually 24, 23, 24, 25 on a high end, which that one can be okay. But my last one, but I don't know because the Thailand bags don't have a place on their bags to adequately hold the weight when I've drained to weigh it. So on our bags, we have a little loop at the top that we hang it to weigh the drained bag so that we know how to tell what comes out of us. And that's important because of this. If I'm supposed to drain, say, anywhere over 23, 24, 25, 26. Sometimes I've done 27. Once in a great moon, I have actually done 3,000. out. Okay, so that would be 2,000 plus another 1,000 out. That's a really rare case. But that bag is still supposed to hold it. And I don't believe that it's big enough to do that. So I'm half thinking that on Sunday when I got really sick and nauseous and threw up, that it could have been that I had toxins that didn't come out because they couldn't fit in that bag. And that's pretty dangerous because in my head, I'm like, that could become, couldn't I become septic? Like, that was red flag, red flag, red flag. And we always have to listen to those red flags. And so when I went today, I took Deborah a bag, a green bag, so that she could see the size difference of them. So I wanted to show you, but there's a slight difference in size. They both come in this bag. It's just that I took this one out because I'm going to use this one. So this is my last one for my last supply order that I'm going to use, and this is the new shipment. So now I opened it, and you can see there is a big difference. Size-wise, it looks like this one's just more puffy than this one. There's the markings here to say that it's good usage. From what I can read. So let's see, turn this over. So this is pretty much, what I'm used to. There is a difference with the yellow ones, which I should have kept. Hold on. So here's the yellow bag that I used this morning that I emptied. Here, there's no flangeable for this bag. The flangeable is actually down here where I connect to. That's where I connect my connector to, for lack of better words. I'm so tired. I only have to use one red clamp, and it comes with a clamp, which is really cool. So that's kind of easier, although I have to think when I do this connection now. Because I have to break that. And this fills really fast. And the strand is much shorter than the other one. Not by a lot, but enough to make a difference. Because the shorter this bag, or I don't know, it's like the taller this bag is to you, the faster it'll drain into you. But also if the cord is shorter, then it also does the same thing. Because Thailand has petite little people, maybe they don't drain as much as Americans might. Fairly. That's probably pretty accurate because we are bigger consumers of food than across seas, perhaps. So, respectfully, I say this. So anyways, I asked her if I could get drain bags because I want to drain completely on my third exchange, which is now, and then of course at night, tonight at like 5 or 6 when I drain that out. Last night I drained 25 at 2 o'clock, and at 6 I drained 2670. So I only ate a bowl of vegetable soup in the morning because I had started to introduce food back into my system. And then around 4 o'clock, I consumed a homemade chicken, vegetable-ish food. So basically it was chicken. I threw in some mixed frozen vegetables, lots of broth, and then just one potato. And it was going to be between Donnie and I, so I didn't get a lot of potato. But that is what I consumed, and I felt real full and very satisfied. And so for me, at the end of the day, to have gotten 2670 is a little bit alarming in my head. Maybe not, but in my head that's alarming because I feel like I didn't consume enough for that to have happened. So I'm really hoping that I'm not just retaining a bunch of extra stuff built up. So anyways, that's what we're going for now. We talked about it. She gave me a box full of drain bags, thankfully, because that means that 2 of my exchanges, my very last drain and then my 2 o'clock exchange, has to drain into a drain bag, because then I'm going to need to be able to have that room to fill it up if I need to. Because I don't want to risk not being allowed to drain all of that out, you know. So anyways, that's my dilemma. Then I went over to a little school today, which is just right up the street. It's a little preschool. Yeah. So when my daughter visited with my other grandbabe, who is 2 months older than Charlie, Gus was very much vocal, not only speaking, but just his animations. And I know that all kids are different, and that's not the point. But the way he was stimulating Charlie vocally was just really great. And so I told the kids, I think that we need to jump on this opportunity, because they have room for him, to see if we can get him into this little daycare, as much as I am going to terribly miss him. I think that it would be a better situation for him, because I don't make dinosaur noises. And I can play with him to a point, but not the way another 2-year-old or 3-year-old little boy is going to play with him. And so I can only do what I can do. The summer is coming. It's going to get hot. And I don't know that I'm going to be able to provide for him a great learning environment. So we went and looked at it, and it looks great. I'm excited. I hope that his parents do go for it. Not that I don't want to watch Charlie, but I want him to get the fullest benefit. Anyways, have a good day. I will talk to you guys later. Drink your water. Bye-bye.